My name is Joshua Clark, and my informative speech today will be on homosexual rape in prison. I want to start off with a quote, and I quote, "You will be beaten repeatedly, and you will be brutally raped, and you will lose every ounce of dignity that you have left in your body." This was said by Amanda Borhorst, a Ohio prosecutor who sentenced Matthew Vacay to a life term in prison for murdering 2 women. This may sound cruel and unusual, but this kind of sexual abuse happens every day in the prison system. When you think of prison, what do you think of? Friend, what do you think of when you think of prison?
Violence.
Hell?
Hell.
Violence. You think of crime, criminals, and violence. You wouldn't even give it a second thought that you could be raped or sexually abused in prison. But more than 216,000 people are sexually abused every day in jail. My main points are why rape occurs, the health and psyche risk of a new inmate, and what they're trying to do to cut down sexually on sexual assault. There are 3 theories on why rape occurs. It's power and control, the person's disposition, and custodial supervision. When we talk about power and control in the prison system, you think of a sense of unity. You think of the outside, how they're majority white, and on the inside, they're majority black. On the inside, the majority of African Americans want to take control over the Caucasian race just because of how they have oppressed us back in the 1940s, 1950s. About 56% involve black inmates raping white inmates. The second theory is a person's disposition. They may see things in a particular way. In other terms, this is the person's personality, traits, and needs. Sex is part of human nature. And everyone wants it, everyone needs it. And in a particular way, their mind state might change while they're in prison for a long time. There's also custodial supervision. The correctional officers might not be everywhere that they want to be at. They might underreport crime, or they might just turn up their nose because they feel like the criminal or the prisoner deserves what they're receiving in jail. There's also health and psyche risk. Prisoners might feel inadequate. They might have trouble expressing their feelings just because of how they have been raped or sexually abused in prison or in jail. They have a high suicidal rate, especially among Caucasians, just because African American race does take control over white Americans. The HIV rate has also skyrocketed. HIV rate among prisoners is several-fold higher than in prison than the general public. And the United States has at least 24,000 inmates that are classified as HIV and AIDS positive. But luckily, the government has stepped in and implemented some new plans to stop sexual abuse in prisons. Some are the acts and standards. There's DOG surveys and conjugal visits. The act creates a zero-tolerance policy toward prison. They may develop national standards to prevent the sexual abuse that happens among prisoners. The standards require jails to develop and use their best efforts to implement plans to protect the inmates, such as training for the guards, reporting more of the crimes. The DOJ surveys, which is Department of Justice surveys, are great in the fact that victims of rape actually don't have a personal interviewer. They actually do it through audio casting system, so they don't have to, they don't have to be embarrassed to tell the private interviewer. The main objective of the surveys is to determine how many inmates report incidences of sexual assault, so they can further review it and process it. In conclusion, I feel like this epidemic is forever growing. I hope you have a better aware of this subject and how this epidemic has been growing. The 3 main things I want to talk about was why rape occurs, which was the 3 theories, health and psyche risk, HIV and suicidal rate, and some other solutions such as conjugal visits and DOJ surveys. That's it. Thank you.